And it's 5 lights out, and away we go here in Silverstone. Moto on pole position, getting a good start, maintaining the lead of this race. But now the Red Bull and Ferrari are following closely behind him, and then the Red Bull of Red Jelly is now challenging Moto for the lead into turn 3. Who's going to come out ahead? I think the Red Bull of Red Jelly has just got ahead of Moto. Yes, he has. Moto is now fallen down into P3. His hard tyres are not doing him any favours at the moment, but now the Ferrari of Geometry is now challenging the Beastova for the lead. Beastova has actually got into the lead somehow, but Beastova goes a tiny bit wide into Luffield, but now both the Ferraris have been able to get the undercut on him. Beastova now falling down into P3 behind both the Ferraris. That has now made it a Ferrari 1-2 once again, but now coming into Cops. Beastova actually takes a really nice line through there, and that has allowed him to challenge Geometry for P1, but now coming into Maggots and Beckett's flat out through there. Geometry is now side by side with Beastova as Beastova takes a massive corner cut. That has allowed him to get back into P1. But now we see Ysai. Ysai is actually slowing down. I think he's got a corner car penalty. The Red Bull of Beastova has also got a corner car penalty, but now coming out of turn 4, Geometry has now got a better exit than his teammate. He's now being able to challenge for the lead, but now coming onto the straight. Does he get DRS? No, he doesn't. Geometry is now into the lead with this race, coming into Brooklands and Luffield. Geometry just slots in ahead of his teammate, but now YC carries a bit more speed through the corner. Does he get a better exit? I don't think he does. But yeah, that is a rare mistake from the championship contender, as we see the two halves battling. Jerry Pecco just ahead of his teammate Klasica in P6. Not too good of a race from him. We usually expect to see him in the podium positions, but now Ysai has actually managed to retake the lead of the race. As we see Geometry now gets a cut slowdown, and he's fallen pretty far back into the pack. And we see Ysai taking yet another corner cut. Ysai now coming into the pit lane on lap 10. We're going to see what tyres he goes on to in a moment, as we see Beastova staying out. So Beastova doing a different strategy compared to Ysai. Obviously Ysai now going on to the medium tyres. That means he is now committing to the two-stop strategy. You see Ysai now coming out of the pit lane. He's coming down behind, just behind the Haas of Klesica in, I think that is P5. But now coming into turn 4, Ysai has a lot more grip than Klesica on those fresh medium tyres. I think Ysai trying to get the undercut on all the drivers by making that early pit stop. As we come onto the straight, Ysai now just gets ahead of Klesica into Brooklands and Luffield. Ysai now catching up very quickly to the back of Moto, only 2.5 seconds behind him, as we see Moto actually coming into the pit lane now. Moto on lap 15 on those old hard tyres, making his one and only pit stop of this race. But we have to remember, Ysai also has another pit stop to make, so we're going to see who has the superior strategy between them, Moto's 1-stop or Ysai's 2-stop. We see Moto now coming onto those new medium tyres, and I think Jerry Pecco behind him is also making his pit stop, but we're going to see where Moto comes out now in a moment. And I think he's going to come out in P3 behind Beastova. Yeah, Beastova on those old soft tyres. He's done very well to bring them this far into the race. We see Jerry Pecco also on the medium tyres. So yeah, he has made his pit stop. But we're going to see where Geometry comes in all this. Geometry, I think, is in P4. Maybe, I think he's in P4. Yeah, and he's not too far away from Moto. Moto now catching up to the back of Beastova. Moto having some amazing pace at the moment, as we see Beastova on those old soft tyres. Coming into the final chicane, Moto carries a bit more speed and he gets a better exit through the final corner. Moto is just edging slightly ahead onto the start-finish straight. Moto is now fully ahead of Beastova coming through turn 1 and 2. We're going to see if there's anything Beastova can do to hold off Moto, but coming into turn 3 and turn 4, Moto has the superior grip on those fresh mediums. As we see Ysai still in the lead, but there's just nothing Beastova can do to hold off Moto. As we see Ysai now on the soft tyres, that means he has made his second pit stop of this race, and it must have been a very good pit stop for him because he's only 6 seconds behind Moto. And you see Beastova in P5 behind both Jerry and Geometry, so he must have made his second pit stop as well. But yeah, Ysai is going to need some incredible pace to catch up to Moto with only 7 laps remaining in this race. Jerry Pecco now only 2/10 behind Geometry. Jerry looks to be a tiny bit faster at this moment in the race, but now coming into turn 3, Jerry hits the sausage curb a bit. That's going to compromise his line slightly, but we see Geometry going a tiny bit wide out of turn 4, but now coming into the straight here, Geometry just still a tiny bit ahead of Jerry Pecco. Do any of them get DRS? Yes, they both get DRS somehow, while coming into Brooklands and Lafayette. Jerry has the superior tyres, he has the superior grip, and he is now just getting a tiny bit better of an exit than Geometry, and he has now got ahead of Geometry for the final podium position. YSI now catching up very quickly to Moto, almost in Moto's DRS range, 1.1 seconds behind him, but now coming through Cops, Moto goes a tiny bit wide and he gets a corner car penalty. That's definitely what Moto didn't need at this moment in the race. All his chances of winning this race have gone down the drain unless YSI manages to make a mistake as well, but that's looking unlikely with only 2 laps remaining in this race. YSI now coming into the final chicane, he's put on an exceptional performance once again, he's got the strategy right, and he's going to come across the line to win his 5th race of the season here in Silverstone. Moto coming home in P2, just narrowly missing out on the win, and Jerry Pecco in P3, once again on the podium in the Haas, and the second Ferrari of Geometry following not too far behind him.